Hi, Aries, and welcome to your September 2023 read. This reading is for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, and or Venus. Okay, let's get started. Aries, what's happening? Let's see. Death and rebirth. I mean, beautiful, right? This really wanted to come out. I literally, Aries, I actually even ignored it and it came out. So the death and rebirth of a new relationship, a relationship to actually that gets rejuvenated, passionate, a passionate new beginning. Okay. It's a past life relationship. If you are in a relationship, you could easily say, yeah, for sure, I feel this person feels like home. And the reason why it's a past life is because you've been through the complete circle of the wheel in order to extract whatever wasn't working in the relationship to now see what is and to adjust accordingly. Definitely the transformation of this beautiful depiction. Now we have these full moons here. So that constitutes karmic ending, right? So we cleared up karma in a relationship. It's coming the end of August. Okay, I'm filming it in the end of August. So that could very well be that karmic ending, a new beginning. Okay, someone's definitely trying to balance their life in order to be like, spend more time with you. Let's be together. Let's do things together. I feel that at some point it was a balancing act of how much time to spend here, like work versus a relationship. This past life looks definitely with Egyptian roots. Celtic, I heard. And I feel that the masculine had to go through their death of their ego in order to unmask and set themselves free as well. Yeah, for sure. Okay, I love the purple and blues, the depiction of a spiritual rising up of two people rising up to meet one another on the same vibration frequency. Okay, let's get some vice versa. This is the vice versa deck. Okay, and let's get some more insight into the narrative. This is, I mean, it's very self-explanatory. It really is. So let's just get one card from the vice versa deck for each one to give us more of the narrative of what's to come, or how hard you've worked to get to where you're at. Okay, so that's the death of, right, the beast within, the helplessness I heard, helplessness of, I mean, you could be dealing with a Scorpio as well, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, or this could be your moon sign. You could be an Aries moon, Aries sun, and or Scorpio moon. Aries sun with Scorpio moon, or you could be an Aries moon with Scorpio in your chart. Okay, so you've unleashed the beast. And this actually, Aries, is your beast of burden. The beast of burden that lies within. You have set it free. And that's why the death card depicts that setting one's ego, putting one's ego aside. Now it is upright, right? But with the death card, it depicts truly finding the strength to see your own self in the mirror, right, of the things that you have been through, right? The infinite times that you've been to the earth plane, only to find yourself finally cutting these karmic ties for like good. Okay? This is also Leo. Some of you like bats, are drawn to bats. It almost looks like, I mean, you didn't even know that you didn't realize that you had such animosity, resentment, for some anger. The beast within doesn't constitute like the devil. It constitutes the things that we are, obsessed about, attached to, our resentments, our past, the past stuff that had to go. Okay? All right. And that's your truth. That turned around. I think that, honestly, Aries, you didn't want to see it. You didn't want to see it. And when it appeared, it was like, oh, okay. All right? Now I understand. Now I understand what has been the harbor of my own demise. The harboring of one's own demise to allow yourself to realize this is the cutting out. And you did receive your crown, right? It's the crown of truth. I love this. I'm serious. You did not realize that. I think for some, you were pointing the finger at the ego of others. If you are dealing with a Scorpio, for sure, it was their ego that was imposing upon yours. See, that's how past life works. Past life is coming together, soulmates, right? Coming together to reenact certain things, certain circumstances, life experiences, in order to cut and set yourself free. But the dark night of the soul here is really hard to face, because before we even enter into this dark night of our own selves, our own ego, we don't realize that it could also implicate the ego of another as well. Because this is a past life. Two people getting together to cut the ties, right, of maybe not just one ego, but a set of egos in the masculine and the feminine. A set, meaning, you, the masculine and feminine. As we all are one, but we do, because we're human, we tend to point the finger at others, saying, no, that's not me, that's them. It's their fault. It's their ego. They're full of themselves, blah, blah, blah. And then we set that free. And I feel that some of you, if you have lost a loved one, this is someone saying to cut the ties of someone who has passed. 7 and 1 is 8, and this is an 8. You have you have the infinity of this here, right? That's the 8, right? So the 8th month of August, maybe transitioning July, August, potentially maybe into September, and letting the past go in order to bring in someone who does feel like home. This could have been a past lover, a past soulmate, where we finally were able to not, to not hold on to someone who passed. Some of you are widows, and that could be the reason why that's here. If this is a relationship you're in, right? The old part of the parts, I should say, all the parts that make up for a relationship had to be buried, which is the beast within. Cut ties, bury, say goodbye, send love and light, and let's get on with it. Also, with the sword here, you can see with the sword you have this circle, which depicts the circle of life. Obviously, it's, these cards speak volumes, especially when you look at the intricate details, and that's what we have here. Some of you are starting new after you've had a conversation with someone about either we make this or we break it, for sure. A conversation, are we on the same page? It doesn't have to be literally someone who has passed, but for some it is, okay? And for others it's not. For others it's a past life relationship that either you broke free from or you had a conversation and you're putting the old crap, like, let it be gone and let's start new. Okay? You have 2 8s. Okay? 2 8s is that circle of life, the infinite possibilities, now starting over. All right, let me look. Oh my gosh, look at that. And this also depicts, this could be that you had to set your ego free. Your childhood self took a hit in order for you to release all the stuff that didn't work out in the past. And that's why this card came out like this, is because you're still healing from it, but it's reversed, right? So healing from a death, a past life relationship, your own ego and the ego of others. You climbed this mountain to get to where you're at today. There's a crown here for a reason, but it's not the crown to behold of an ego. It's the crown to behold of your truth. If it is someone near and dear to your heart, they could have had blue roses on their grave, or their favorite color was blue, or you had something about blue in your, that was their favorite color. That's your favorite color, and or it's just that you're now. These 2 cards depict letting go. Someone could have definitely buried someone, right? Within the last month or 2. Okay. Okay, let's see what else. Look at that. Oh my God. Oh my God. The death. Death twice. if someone has died these last 3 months, say July, August, September, or you're celebrating the memorial of someone who has passed, an anniversary, a birth date, whatever that applies. But now you have 3 8s and a new beginning. So if there was a time where you were trying to get past a past life relationship that has ended, I mean, this is like signed, sealed, and delivered here. Wow. Let me see what that, let me get one more card first. Hold on. Look at that. And as one door closes, another one opens. So some of you have finally released someone from your past or a loved one who has passed on, only to find this person, a new person comes in, or this is the same person, death and rebirth of a relationship, current relationship. Okay? I do want now to clarify. This could have been someone from your past who passed away, was in the hospital with cancer and or like a form of cancer. Okay? All right. And now this relationship then unfolds and you're able to move on to focus in on, this relationship. I feel like it could be 3 separate scenarios. It's either the death of a loved one and you are just getting past that in order to start a new life with another past life relationship. I feel past life relationship, it could be the same relationship as a death and a rebirth of the egos of one or both parties, because we have 2 deaths. One or both parties had to let go of their beast of burden. Beast of burden, again, is not just the devil and obsession and hanging on. It is sometimes hanging on, but I feel that this was, everyone goes through death in a different way. Whether it be the physical death, which looks like here, physical death, because he's burying someone, and here at the cemetery, right? Maybe someone wants to go to the cemetery of a loved one who has passed. Okay, let's get another card, please. Here we are with, and I wanted to say a child's involved. So it could be Leo, Aries, Sag, a child's involved, and now we're moving on. We're together, we're moving on, and what happens after this night moves on, right? And now has strengthened their resolve. I kind of want to look at what this means here. Hold on. Okay. We have a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius here as well. Someone who could have been a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius could have helped you to move on from an ex, a loved one who's passed. Let's look at this page. see? So a child is also mourning. I really feel that this is an anniversary of a loved one. I'm going to take this one too. Yeah. 3. So the last 3 months, and there's another 8. 5 and 3 here. Okay. So you have 4 8s in this read. So not only closing the chapter of a past loved one who has passed on, but also a child who is involved is trying to move on from this as well. So this is not just one person. This is not you and the person of whom has passed on. This is also a child is mourning the same loss of a mother and or father. And then the father's here, so I'm thinking it's a mother. There's 2, and then there's the card here of Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, which we'll get into. The 3 of Wands is, you know, the cloak of death, and then the love that we hold near and dear to our hearts with that red rose in the back, you know, and then this cloak being red. This man has, or this child, you know, you can only take love, the love that you have of a loved one with you. You can't take, there's nothing else to take. You know what I mean? Let's look at the King of Swords, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. The burden. Someone carries this burden that maybe is not speaking of. Okay, so some of you, okay, this is going to be hard to hear. Some of you, there's a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius that had to also endure your going through this with another person, or they had to go through it with you. They've seen you go through the stages of mourning. This Gemini, Libra, Aquarius does know, and maybe you're going to express that to them, or they might just wait until you want to have the conversation. Like, do you want to talk about it? It could be the loss of a child in the sense of, and only in the sense of, someone was in another marriage, had a child from this man, this Gemini, Libra, Aquarius could have birthed a boy who's no longer in their lives, but is thinking about that boy and wondering how that boy is doing, and may want to contact that boy. And so, Aries, you're part of this. Maybe you're orchestrating a connect with your husband, the son of your husband who no longer he has connect. Maybe they had a disagreement. Maybe they are no longer talking. Do you know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of things going on here. All right, let's keep going. I do want to know about this right here. Look. Okay, so now we're able to see that even though a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Aries has seen you go through a lot and may or may not have admitted to witnessing your pain, but they have witnessed your pain, and they do realize and know how much you have suffered. The loss of either a child, a wife, and or the loss of communication with a child, right? And now you're remarried, you remarried, but this Gemini, Libra, Aquarius has a child from their past. And it may come up that you may want to help this Gemini, Libra, Aquarius find their child or be with their child. Or at least talk about, how you're feeling in order for, if this Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, I would really highly doubt that this Gemini, Libra, Aquarius does not see you in pain, for sure. They do. They may not want to talk about it until you do. If it is, I think that you finally put your ego aside in order to really feel the pain of someone passing. Let's get a card on the Two of Cups is the Holy Grail of each other giving of their love to another after someone has left, has crossed over. I'm only saying crossed over because the masculine is at a gravesite. See that? Someone feels ashamed that they're not, some of you, they're not paying, this Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, husband, lover, live-in, whatever, is ashamed that they're not putting in, maybe they're not paying child support. Maybe maybe you get a phone call saying you need to pay your child support. Not you, or maybe a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Maybe perhaps this is, I want to also be a part of your life, and this pain that you're suffering from that you do now want to talk about. Let's talk about this pain and let me try and help you, is what a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius may be saying to you. How can I help you go through this pain? And this could be, they feel like they want to be a part of this child's life, and it's very difficult, but they will. The red tail hawk is here. They are. You have two aces. Ace of Wands and Ace of Swords is a new beginning for someone, right? Aries, you and or a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius that you're with, to get through and to get past the pain of grieving. This is grieving. This is sorrow. This is letting go of your ego and really coming to terms with how you feel. It's stripping it. This particular circumstance, should this apply to you, has changed your entire life. Because I think someone was able to help you to get through the grieving process. A new beginning where also communication is open. Someone maybe had, Aries, if you're mourning the death of a loved one and you didn't know if your Gemini, Libra, Aquarius could handle it or deal, they're here to talk and help you to open up. It's about opening up. It's about opening up to the feelings that are very real. And knowing truly, at the end of the day, all you can do is try to contact that child or be in that child's life, maybe giving money to that child's mother. I think someone's really harboring this pain of a child not present, not gone, not present in day-to-day life. And it's really difficult. because we have the 9 of Wands here, and this next one is 10 of Wands. So you're at the end of, which we have here, 7 and 3 is 10. So 10 here, 10 here, right? So, and 8, 13 is here, but you know, you had 4 8s also. So you're at the end, August, September, October. These 3 months that are coming up. I know this is a September read, but Spirit brought in August as when it started to percolate, or it started to resonate, or a conversation was had about how you really truly feel about this. And, you know, here's the Holy Spirit, right? You know you're being guided. You know that the Holy Spirit is guiding your child, and or the person who has crossed over, perhaps a Scorpio, is also watching over the child. And here's the crown. So the masculine has successfully been able to come out of their shell, so to speak, and talk about the pain that they have been holding on to. And it could either be in September or October, or it's already happened in August, where a conversation happened where it's like, okay, I got to tell you, I really feel bad that this is what I've been going through. The child could be the death of the mother, right? And so I'm trying to assess how to move on with a new relationship, how not to feel ashamed that I'm not in that child's life, my child's life somehow, and, you know, work through it. Not only talk about it, but also work through it, right? Love never dies. Okay, let me get 3 cards from the Super deck for Aries. It's not, you know, it's, listen, Aries, it's life. This is life. And the only thing you can take with you is the love that you have for everyone that you come into contact with. Okay, 3 cards, please, for Aries. Ego. Okay, so your ego had to let go of what no longer. This is like the fall from grace, right? You see him? This is the depiction of an arm, and they have, right? And they have feathers coming off that arm because they've extracted their ego, and, you know, you lost your wings, right? The ego is very, very subtle. The ego has been with us since inception. And through that process of letting go of the death of not only someone near and dear to your heart, but also the egoic aspects of what remains from the death of a loss, not just someone who's crossed over. In addition to a crossing over, you also had to let your ego go, in terms of, for others, also not being part of a child's life. And Spirit was saying you were all in your own head space about how this was going to play out, you know. The death of the ego, it's not like the ego goes away. It's that you had to shed parts of your life in order to come to terms with the grieving process. And grieving someone, for some, it's really, you know, a physical death. For others, for the physical death and the death of the ego, right? But the ego remains. But when the ego has died, when the ego finally is released here, we also have an experience of now the only way to live is by the and from the heart. So the ego could play games, and it will always tempt. You will always be tempted by the ego. But you will know your truth stands in your own heart, and the love that you have for these people who have crossed over, or a child that you no longer are dealing with on a day-to-day basis. Okay? Death of the ego, for sure. Primordial, which is we go back to the basics. We've climbed, which is the Fool. We've climbed the highest mountain. We've had to succumb to the trials and tribulations of what has become you. The shadows and the light. The death. The first two cards out, death and Fool card, death and rebirth. This is death and rebirth on many levels of your ego, a loved one that's crossed over, and or a child who no longer is part of your life. And that's like 3 massive grieving processes in this entire read, whereby September, October, you will be feeling better about being able to talk about it, being able to, see the light, the oracle. It was meant to be. You now see how things have unfolded in your life, Aries. The people that we love, the aspects of not only one ego, but others' egos that get in the way. But they got in the way because they were supposed to. This is a shedding of everything that you thought about you and or another. There's a lot of external circumstances that has taken place, Aries, that really made it difficult for you to even breathe, because I feel like such a heavy weight, but I also feel the burden of that heavy weight has now lifted. I'm not saying that you're going to not continue to think and or grieve, because that's just part of life. But the beast of burden, through a grieving process that has been released, makes it so much easier, because our mind doesn't get all discombobulated with the details of the facts and figures and how it happened, why did it happen, the anger, all the process of grieving that you go through, right? Whether it's death of a physical death or the death of the ego, or both, or all encompassing. It's all encompassing here. You're at now the end of feeling guilty, feeling ashamed, not being part of maybe the part of someone's life that you regret not being there for them. You know what I'm saying? Some fathers are absent. Mothers are absent too. I'm not throwing shade here. What I'm saying is, it looks like it's the masculine who's undergoing the pain of the burdens of the crosses that we must bear. Okay? Okay. I'm here for you, Aries, if you need someone to talk to. Okay? Hang in there. And I send you so many blessings and much love. Okay. Have a great month.